Bonjour à tous et bienvenue. I hope all of you are fine. This is Nabil and this is your own YouTube channel, Hard as French. Okay, now some serious stuff is going to start in your A1 lectures, and today we're going to talk about the French, the first French tense, which is the present indicative in French, le présent de l'indicatif en français. Okay, so whenever we talk about the present indicative tense in English, we have three things: a subject, a verb, and an object. In French, to make a sentence out of the present indicative, the use of these components is the same. Either you can make a sentence with a subject or a verb only, and you can make a sentence with the subject and object and a verb. Okay. After this, there is one point in French present indicative that is very important to understand here. Now, for example, if English I say I ride a bike, so this will be a present indicative tense. This will be a simple tense, present of present. But if I say I am riding a bike, this would be the present continuous in English. But in French, we have you can say kind of two kinds of continuous tenses. One, we use the same present indicative of French, and it would mean, for example, if I say I ride a bike, I am riding a bike, I do ride a bike. So it would be the same. There will be a same sentence for all of these three English sentences in French. What would be "Je fais une promenade en vélo." So I have some other examples for you as well right here, and these would be, yes, this one. So as we talked about the verb faire, which is to do, so in English we will say I do or I am doing. In French it will be the same sentence for these two, je fais, and it can either mean I do something, and it can also mean I am doing it. Now there is another basically separate continuous tense in French also, and that it uses a term entendre, and we'll talk about it later. But for now, for this level, you can just understand simply that if the French present indicative can simply mean the continuous also. For example, to bring someone or to take simply to bring someone, we use a verb, which is a first group verb, and obviously I'll talk about them, the groups of French verbs also. So it is porter, to bring. So in English I can say I carry, or I bring, or I carry, I am carrying, or I do carry. But in French it will be the same sentence, je porte. Je porte. Ignore the conjugation. I will talk about the conjugation later. But for example, for this example, just understand that it will be the same sentence in French. Okay. Now there is another point that I want you to understand in present indicative, is that always we use the present indicative tense with the pronoun, and this is absolute important. Because, and it can also be reflected in English as well. For example, if English I say you do or you're doing, so it would mean that you are doing something. But if I say to someone do, it will be kind of an order. And in French exactly it is the same. We have a tense in French which deals with such kind of order giving. So always in present indicative tense we use the pronoun, the relative pronoun. Now how do we conjugate actually in present indicative? And for just this video, I will shed some light on the French groups and how these groups differ, because the conjugations in all the French verbs differ. So there are technically three French groups. We say the first French group is the verbs with er or er. These verbs are known as er verbs, and more than 80% verbs in French are belong to this group. And there is actually a catch to it, because the first group French verbs are regular verbs, and we have the same pattern for the conjugation of these verbs. For example, I used a verb in this video, porter. Porter is a first group French verb which means to carry or to bring. So if we have to make a present indicative sentence with porter, what we will do is we will take the porte, which we call the stem of the verb porte, and we will add the endings, stem plus ending, and it will be conjugated according to verb. So in present indicative, if I have to say, it will be conjugated as for je, I will add an e at the end of the porte. So je porte, I carry or I bring, or I am bringing. I have already explained all of that. So if I have to say you carry or you bring, that would be an ending of es added to the main stem of the verb. So tu portes. But remember, I have to shed light on this. I have shed light on this point in my previous videos, that normally and most of the time the very last letter of the in French is not pronounced. So hence it so although it has es at the end of the ending of the for tu, we will not pronounce s. So it will sound the same. So je porte, tu portes. For il and elle, he or she, it will be the same. We will add an e, ending e, to the stem of the verb. So porte, it will be the same as je. So je porte, tu portes, il porte, elle porte. For nous, we, to the stem of the verb we will add o, n, s. So nous portons. For vous, which is the formal you, we will add ez or uz en français, in French. So that will be porter. Now, third person plural is a bit tricky, but it can be understood very easily. Listen to me carefully. It is kind of pronounced, for example, if we have to say il, he or they, il or el, whatever it is, we add an es or s based on it, whether it is il or l, but we pronounce it the same. And always it is dependent on the context, that whether you're talking about a third person plural or a third person singular. So portons, it will be written as that, like we will add an ent ending, but we will not read it actually the same. We will not pronounce it. We will pronounce for the third person plural it the same as we are pronouncing for the third person singular, il porte or elle porte. And for first group French verbs, as I've already told you, that first group French verbs are all regular. So I will obviously give you the list of the verbs for that are mostly required for the A1 as well. So remember that those verbs will be conjugated the same. As for example, I have told you about porter. We have a French verb parler. Parler is to speak. So what you have to do, you have to apply the same technique to the parler if you have to conjugate in the present indicative. Same. Je parle, tu parles, il parle, elle parle. Nous parlons, vous parlez, il parle, elle parle. So just remember, to make actually French tenses, we all of all the tenses, we have these fixed kind of formulas that you can just remember and you can apply to those verbs. Obviously, in French, second and third group of French, we have irregular verbs, and but to those verbs there is there's also a pattern. And remember, there's yes, there is another point that I want to talk to you about, is that in even in the first group, we have like different verbs that kind of change their, like they follow a regular pattern, but at times they change their endings, or we have to somehow change the stem. And I will talk about all of these verbs in my A1 lectures, and the same natangyatpa. So I think, as I already told you, the serious work has started, so please pay attention. And that would be it for this video. Subscribe to my channel, please like the video if you like the content, and please share it with your friends and family who are interested in learning French. Salut.